allowing jealousy to control them. This is important victory that has nothing to do with winning Yaman. Barsa was also changing, even if only slightly, being saying that the Doga created a crack in her the hatred. She may still reset her, he may still believe Yaman loved Doga, but it become harder to imagine Doga has become deserving Sahan's hurt. If the Yaman's small changing can become important later, Yaman meanwhile sees that the two women differently. Doga courage because impossible to ignore. Barsa fear remind him that she is emotionally vulnerable rather than simply malicious. He feels responsible for being honest with both of them. This story becomes more mature because Yaman cannot solve everyone by casing one the woman. He must also take responsibility for the confusion. His once behavior helped created. He may apologize to the Barsa for containing when he was not contained. He may apologize to Doga for keeping her emotionally close while refusing to admit when it mean to him. But apologies are not belonging. Doga will judge him what it does. Next, if they truly want a future where he must show that he has been moved at the old cycles. He cannot run toward her, the one doing dangerous, and then become distant when everything is reclaimed. He must join her doing that the ordinary morning, during work, during disagreement, and during family problem, during moment when there is no facing it revealed to himself. This will be a real test. The next stage of the Law of the Nation school, therefore, because less with her Doga and the Yaman will have one romantic moment, and the more about with her they have the turn powerful people feeling into the stable relationship. It is much harder. The attraction has never been that the problem. Trust is the problem, pride is the problem, the different background are a problem, Yaman or pain is a problem, the fear of the vulnerability is a problem. Barsa has only made this excited problems may visible. One Barsa is no longer standing directly between them. Doga and the Yaman will have one ever to the height. If may feel they cannot blame a third person, they will have to fail themselves. This is why exact Doga to the remind questions even after Yaman become more the open. She has the old experience, the pain of the thinking she was ready to confess only to see him with someone else. She will not immediately and will her hurt against Yaman will have to earn that the trust she has the one expected Doga to earn from him. This reversal is the fear about character have hurt each other about need to the change courage. The farm give them that the perfect places to do it this slowly. They work beside each other, they solve problems, they disagreement, they learn when to step back, they discover when their value match and where they do not. Each ordinary day become part of that relationship. The romance has become stronger because it built on the something more than the attraction. The title of the nature began making emotional sense again. People often believe love logic and the follow, choosing that the person who is the easier, choosing that the person from a familiar world, choosing that the relationship that created fewer problems, avoid that the person connected to the old pain, about the feeling refusal to follow. This is instruction. Yaman can tell himself that the person is the simpler. Her hurt will still notice. Doga will stand herself that taking away is the safer hurt. The her still react to the Yaman. Barsa can tell herself that keeping Doga away will protect her herself. Fear cannot manufacture love. Naz and the Octave can still themselves that the marriage should make her the difference disappear. Real life through forces them to understand this difference in sales. Every storyline followed at the same idea larger without needing to repeat at the same sense. People cannot control emotional trust forever. This can only decide whether to face it honestly or allow it to become defective. Doga is becoming to face it. Yaman is the approaching that the point. Barsa is still facing against it. The difference will shape what happens next. I expect that the end of the section of the story to the leave Doga and the Yaman closer but still not officially together. This is the strongest position for the next phase. Yaman has begun accepting that the Doga meant more to him than he admitted. Doga has stopped casing him and starting protected her one dignity. Doga Barsa on the situation has weakened. Lucy and the Kazim are closer to understanding the danger. Naz and the Octave crisis has taught Doga and the Yaman something about the difference. A larger thread around at the farm may be beginning to appear. All this is changing clear forward movement without solving everything at the one. The final image will show Doga standing at the farm earlier that the next morning after that the cases. The honeymoon guests are proving to the leave. The property is the peaceful again. Worker return to their normal routine for the first time in days. This is not immediately emergency. Yaman see Doga from that the distance. Earlier he would have found a reason to the agree with her. Now he simply watches. Doga notices her love away immediately. There is no confession. There is the dramatic issue. They are only to the people soon now understanding that the something real exists. Doga eventually turned to let work. Yaman does that the same, but that the emotional distance between them has changed by the same next time the next movement each other. It will not be become danger for them the together. It will have to be choices and word that the true love stop can be fully begun. Law of the nature in the next stage of the story may prove away from the simple questions of who Yamas will cases and replace Doga at the center of the much larger struggle involving trust, the farm of the farm, futures, hidden dangers, and the emotional cost of whenever that he happens. Doga has reaches a point where she understands that the contrastively watching Yaman and Barsa will only make her close control of her one life. She loves Yaman, but she cannot allow that the woman to decide every action she takes because of fear. Doga may begin that the new part with a very difficult attitude. Instead of waiting for the Yaman to explain himself, he could focus on the farm and try to the create something successful that the belong by her one future. Her the decision may surprise Yaman because he accepted Doga to the remain emotionally involved in what is happened between them and the Barsa. When he is still stopping questioning him, Yaman may believe she has is accepting everything. However, at the day pass, he will probably understand that the Doga has not the stopping losing him. She has the simply stopping giving him that the simply stopping giving him the power to keep her waiting. The training will force Yaman to look at his one behavior much more seriously. Until now he contained remained focused, confused about the woman staying emotionally close to the him when Doga began building a fire that does not depend on this decision. Yaman will feel that the possibility of the truly losing her, the fear could become more stronger than his earlier jealousy because this time Doga is not trying to making him react. She is the genuinely changing directions. Doga may begin development and a new plan for the farm after seeing how the important that the research gals were from the Lucy business. He could recognize that the property has more potential than anyone originally imagined. Instead of the treating it only as a traditional farm or places connected with the family history, she may think about the turning part of it into a special destination for the visitors who want nature's local found and the former problems and the problems of the evidence is taken away. Yaman may be even more surprising. He has often believed that Doga entered the situation with too more confidence and was not enough patience when he sees the planning carefully asking questions and expecting that the people around her he may realize that her the image of her is the old Doga has been changing in front of him. But his the anger and the emotional confession has prevented him from fully recognizing that the change. Yaman may intentionally staying outside that the new project. He tell himself that the Doga should be allowed to prove herself without his the help. In reality, he may also be trying to create emotional distance. If he worked too closely with her, his the feeling become harder to hide by that the plan is his world and the Doga new plan naturally touches area is the understand better than the anyone. She will eventually need information about that the land's local suppliness animal transformation with her and the habit of the surrounded community. Other peoples may answer some of these questions yet again and again. She discovered that the Yaman now that the practical details she need. The force that back in the cooperation. The difference is that the Doga can no longer approaching him as someone separated from his attention. He approaching him as a professional partner. She listened, take note, thanks him, and returned to the work. Yaman may find this struggle difficult. He is the used to the Doga challenging him, making a job, become angry or this time losing longer, and then the necessity. Her the new professional distance make every meeting feel unfinished. The project could become important to the Lucy because another business opportunity may depend on the with her Defan Doga proved that the farm can lose people successfully if that the honeymoon's guest love with a good impressions would make have the begin separating a rival company event organizations or the Wilther family could become interesting is using that the property for a private gathering. This creates a new challenge. Doga wanted the opportunity because it could break them the money and getting that the farm reputation. Yaman worried that too much criminal activity could destroy what make his the places separate instead of the repeating their old agreement. Other cities idea very country tradition. The writer will show them having a more mutual disagreement. Neither person get everything they want. They've been finding a middle path. Their cooperation could make Barsa exactly uncomfortable. Even if the Yaman has already started getting distant from her, Barsa may still believing there is a chain to repair their relationship. She may tell herself that the Yaman confession is the temporary and that the Doga will eventually leave, but the Doga new business rule means she is becoming more deeply connected to the farm rather than the less connected. She is not staying only because of the Yaman. This makes Barsa's situation more difficult because she cannot simply wait for the Doga to less interest and return to the her old life. Doga is the building reason to the remind. Barsa may try to hide her the concern at the first. She could behave politely around Doga and have even predicted to spot that the new project. Her kind behavior may continue Doga because she accepting another warning or the jealousy reaction. However, Doga has become more careful after anything that happens. She does not immediately blame Versa as the changing. At the same time, she also understands that she cannot excusing her of the something simply because she does not trust her. She began watching his action instead of reacting to the feeling. This creates a much stronger physiological game between them. Barsa now Doga is a suspicion. Doga now Barsa is afraid of losing Yaman. Neither say everything openly. This conflict becomes quieter that the more dangerous because both they are thinking before the acting. Kazim and the Halims may continue their investigation in the background. Their information has been collected more. This suggested that the Barsa lied about content detail but still fails to prove that she cases that the most serious incidents. Lucy could become frustrated because every could lead to the another question. He wants to protect Doga, yet he now that the confronting Barsa without evidence might make that the strongest voice. He insists Kazim to stop focus only to the Barsa and look at the everyone who could benefit from damaging that the farm or the frightened Doga. The video investigation could reveal that the farm has attracted attention from the someone outside that the family's past and the old business rival has learned that the Lucy is preparing new agreement. Meanwhile, someone want to the property for any other's purpose and the believing making it appear unsafe will reduces its value. Another possibility is that a person connected to the earlier conflict has returned and is using that the romantic tension about Yaman has recovered. The new direction will be important because Doga may finally understand that not every danger around her is connected to the jealousy. She was connected to the fair Barsa behavior, but she has meant the wrong to the excusing Barsa was behind anything. Seriously, this will make Doga more carefully and the maturity of the thinking emotionally. She began asking who benefit from the each event. Who will gain if that the farm fail? Who will benefit if Lucy cancel his plan? Who now where Doga will be amount at the property without tracking intention. Yaman might follow involved in the investigation after noticing usable activity near one of the part of the farm. He can see tires make where no vehicle should have been, find the damaged points, or they discover that the equipment has been moved. At first, he is using it is a normal farm problem, but that he remembered Doga Frieden experience and realized that the incidents could be connected. Rather than the telling Doga immediately, Yaman may begin checking that the area himself. This creates another problem between them because Doga and Hosey acting him not to make decision about her the safety without including her. Yaman when she discovered that the Yaman has been investigating secretly, he become angry. Not because she does not appreciate his concern, not because she wants to be treated as a part of the solution rather than someone who need to be protected from the information. The disagreement could become one of the most important because it is no longer based on the jealousy. Doga wants respect. Yaman wants that the safety bout has reasonable motive. Yaman has already seen how the quickly dangerous can place herself in the dangers while she becomes determined. Doga has experienced what it feels like when people dismiss her the fear and make dangerous around her. Their disagreement may intentionally become intense. Yaman think Doga is too willing to take risks. Doga think Yaman protection become control when he refuses to trust her judgment. Neither immediately back down, but unlike earlier conflict, they eventually understand what that the people is actually afraid of. Yaman is afraid of losing her. Doga is afraid of losing control of his one life. When they understand that, they create a compromise. Doga agree not to investigate suspicious solutions alone. Yaman agree to share when he discovered instead of the hiding it. This small agreement could become a major step toward a real relationship. Because it dissolves them solving a problem instead of the simply winning at the argument. The farm project continues while that the mysterious girl Doga may receive interest from a planning in a large family celebration. The event should be vulnerable financially or the organizing it become difficult because that the visitor has only different expectations. Some want luxury, some want a transition experience, children want activity, other family members want peace. Doga seeing that the event has a perfect test of the waiter, her new idea can they work. Yaman intentionally believes she is taking too much. Doga refusing to the cancel petitions of the trying to the handle everything herself. She divides responsibility. She gives Yaman control of the outdoor arrangement and the local activity. She asks Pencil to the help with the content transitional detail. Lucy handled at the business agreement when the worker received clear responsibilities. That showed the Doga has learned leadership. Earlier she often tried to the prove that cool personality could solve everything. Now she understands that the being responsible does not mean doing every task done. Yaman watches this change and they become proud of her even though he may say it. His respect grows every time. That respect makes his emotional situation with the Barca increasingly impossible. He may have tried to the crossing Barca because that relationship appeared easier and because she clearly wanted him. Yet whenever he the watches Doga working, changing and they become stronger, he feel pulled toward her. Barriers notice Yaman's attention and feel that the same fear returning. She may begin believe that the farm project is simply another way to for the Doga remain near him. For her point of view, every new responsibility Doga gave make her harder to the remove. This full time Barca to interfere with the event. However, she has learned anything from earlier mistakes. She may not daily sabotage doubt. Instead, she could create doubt. Perhaps she quietly tells someone involved in the event that Doga is inexperienced. Maybe she suggested that the farm is not prepared, worried client that they become frustrated, question every detail, creative pressure for the Doga. Doga intentionally does not know where that the doubt comes from. She becomes frustrated by the casing to response professionality. She now that the client that the separation explained that the plan and answer questions patiently. Instead of the collapsing under suspicion, she used it as an opportunity to the prove herself. Barca see that the another time has the failed worse Yaman admitting Doga for staying claimed they may push Barca toward a different kind of the action. She could focus on the Yaman rather than the Doga. If she cannot make Doga later bad, perhaps she can make Yaman remember everything that once separated them. Barca may bring up Doga earlier mistake, hers the privileged life and the plan she cases Yaman. Some of these points are the true. She make that the more effective than the lies. Yaman may become emotionally unsettled because his the old wound has not disappeared. Serving Doga does not automatically erase that the emulation and anger he once felt. For a short period, Barca may succeed in creating distance between them by forcing Yaman by remembering that they passed. Doga noticing that the Yaman has sternly changing. She does not why now Yaman's ether. She might have demanding an explanation. Now she refuses to cases him. She continue working. This creates another important shift Yamal listening. Then he want to discuss that the people past he might be the one approaching her. Doga has already apologized for the world and action more than the once. He cannot spend the rest of his life proving that she has the changing every time Yamal become afraid. Eventually, Yaman may approaching her not with the association but with honesty, saying that the secret premium predictions narration rather than the dialogue. These scenes can be describing through that the emotional meaning of their stand, yet Yaman make it clear that part of him still struggling to forget how that their story began. Doga does not affect herself by predicting that the past was unimportant. She accepted that she hurt him. At the same time, she makes it clear through her behavior that she cannot change something that has already happened. The only thing she can control is who is now. The moments could be one of the most mature scenes because them Doga does not ask Yaman to forget. Yaman does not remit unless punishment. They begin separating money from the future choices. Yaman lived at the conversation understanding that his fear is its responsibility. If he chooses Doga one day, he cannot continue using that. The past has a weapon with her. He feels unsure. If he cannot trust her again, then he must let her go. Instead of the keeping her trapped between hope and the guilt, that realization could move him much closer to making a final romantic decision. But before he reaches it, that the external danger may become more serious. Law of the nature in the next part of the story may finally push Doga and the Yaman into the emotional storm that has been building between them for a long time. The previous event changed at the direction of the series because Doga was forced to the fate to trust at almost the same moment. The first trust was that the danger around that was becoming more serious than the half-bleed. The second trust was that her feeling for Yamans were no longer something she could hide behind anger, competition, pride, or joke. After the terrifying cold room accident, Tolga could then remind that become happened to her was not a simple accident. She believed somebody deliberately created at the dangers, and her suspicion immediately moved toward Versa. The people around Doga did not finally accept her claim, but that did not make her change her mind. Lucy also did not completely ignore her daughter's secret and quickly started looking more closely at the Barsa. The small decision may become one of the most important part of the coming story because Barsa is now standing at the center of the bout, the dramatic conflict and the growing mystery surrounding Toga. The previous story also show how Miss Lee's rival chained Toga immediately. Malik did not simply enter that the farm to help at the restaurants and its new menu. Her old connection with the Yaman created a situation that Doga was not ready to the handle. Seeing Yaman confidential with another woman brought our feeling that Doga has spent a long time refusing to name. Her jealousy became harder to the hide, and she slowly understood that her interest in the Yaman was no longer about proving herself to him. She cared about when he saw where he went, who stood beside him, and with another woman could become important in his life. Miss Lee was able to see that emotionally trust very carefully, but at this time she left. Doga has reached at the point where she has finally ready to stop escaping from her the one heart. The cruel timing of the story, however, made sure that her realization did not bring her happiness. Instead, just when Doga was preparing herself to take an emotional risk, Versa moved first. Versa has reached her one breaking point. Problems in her professional life and everything happened around Yaman pushes her into making her feeling clear. She told Yaman that she loved him, and Yaman responds in a way that completely changed the situation. Doga arrived at exactly the wrong moment and said Yaman's and the Barsa embracing for Doga. This was more painful than ordinary jealousy because she had only recently accepted that she was in love. She had spent so much time protecting herself that she was finally ready to become honest. She believed that the opportunity has already disappeared. The official material for the next story confirmed that the Doga will try to hide when she feels after learning that the Yamas and the Versa are together at the same time. She will begin to see that Versa is becoming more dangerous. The new story also included honeymoon guests Naz and the actress who trouble relationship with Kes Doga and Yaman to think about love, difference and with her two people from opposite world can truly build a life together. This is where the next part may become much deeper than the simple love triangle. Tolga will probably try to confess herself that the Yaman had made his choices and that she has no right to interfere. Pride has always been one of her stronger defenses. She does not enjoy showing weakness, especially in front of the Yaman. Because of this, her first reactions may not be tears or an open confession. It means she be distant. She could become usable professional around him. She may speak less, focus more strongly on the farm, involve herself in the restaurant, and believe at the through Yaman mattered to her. For the outside, this could like maturity, but opposite every effort Doga make to look unaffected could reveal how deeply affected she actually is. Yaman will probably notice the change very quickly, understood Tolga better than she wanted to admit. He has already seen many difficult sides of her personality. He has seen her the confidence, her mistake, her courage, her stubbornness, and her ability to put herself in danger when someone she cares about need help. When Doga suddenly become calm and the distance, Yamar may understand that the chain is connected to what she say between them in Barsa. The important question is not whether Yaman will notice. The real question is that he will do when she notices. His response to the Barsa confessions remains one of the biggest emotional materials, because accepting affection in one emotional moment does not automatically mean that his deeper feeling for Doga have disappears. My prediction is that Yaman's decision concerning Versa will turn out to be much more complicated than its first appearance. The series has spent too much time building that the connection between Yaman and the Doga for his feeling to appear suddenly. Yaman may care deeply about Versa. He may feel loyalty toward her sympathy for her and responsibility because of why she has experienced. He may even believe that giving birth a change in the sensible decision, because the relationship with Dolga seem impossible. Dolga and the Yaman will come difficult word, have difficult habit, and have repeatedly looked one another. For Yaman point of view, choosing Barsa may look tougher than following a feeling that has only cases him pain, yet the obvious emotional change is not always the honest one. The difficult between safety and the trust may become the main theme of the coming story. Barsa can offer Yaman suddenly because she has already made her feeling clear. Toga represents uncertainty with Olga. Yaman was never now with her. The next movement will bring closeness or another fight. Also fear this challenge one always in the way that can be beautiful and associated in at the same time. This is probably why the rival of Nas and the Octave is so important. Their honeymoon crisis may become a mirror through which the Yamans and the Doga see themselves. A couple who belong to difficult world make them ask whether always destroy love or whether love becomes stronger when two the people are willing to understand. This is different. Nas and the Octave may intentionally arrive at the farm at happy honeymoon guests. Everyone may accept being to a warm and romantic atmosphere. Doga will probably see their visit as an important business community, because successful guests can improve the reputation of the farm and the strengthen its future. Lucy may care even more because that the success of their stay is connected to an important argument. This means everyone will have a reason to make sure the honeymoon goes perfectly, but that the perfect image may appear very quickly. Nas and the Octave may become disagreeing about simple matter that deeper problem in their marriage. One may accept luxuries and the careful planning, while that the other may prefer simplicity. One may believe marriage should change their life, while that the other expect everyone to remind that the same. At first, Doga may naturally understand one side while Yaman understand at the other. This would recreate their one disagreement in a safer and more harmless form. Doga may believe that love is not enough if two people cannot adjust to one another's need. Yaman may believe that the people should not have to lose themselves simply to make a relationship work. Their attempt to help Nas and the Octave could slowly become an indirect argument about their one relationship. Neither of them may open admit it, but each piece of advice that they give the honeymoon couple could actually describe what they from each other. This will allow the series to move Doga and the Yaman emotionally closer without forcing them in a direct confession to the early, as they work together to save the honeymoon. Doga may forget for a short time that she is trying to avoid Yamans. Their natural rhythm could return. They may solve problem together. Complete over plan is better invention is it that the farm worked best when both of them contributed. Doga brings ambitions and a more modern way of thinking. Yaman brings practical knowledge, local experience. Separately, they can create problems, but together they balance each other. Nas and the Octave crisis may therefore remind Doga and the Yaman that being difficult does not necessarily mean being work for each other. Something difficult creates the reason two people need each other. Barsa will probably see their slave closeness because either Doga or Yaman fully understand it. This is where her behavior would become more dangerous. The official preview already pointed toward Barsa becoming increasingly threatened, and that the development is unlikely to remain only emotional. Barsa has details that the state where Yaman is not simply someone she loves. He is becoming at the center of the life she believed that the must perfect at any cost. This creates a serious problem because love mixed with fear can become professionals. If Versa believed that Doga is the only person who can take Yaman away, she may stop seeing Doga as a normal rival and being saying has had an enemy. Doga, however, is no longer completely unaware of the danger. She already suspects Versa is connected with the cold room incident, even though others were not convinced. Doga remember what happened, and knowing how the close she came to losing her the life, she is likely to forget that fear simply because She is heartbroken over Yaman. In fact, seeing Versa with the Yamans make that the situations more difficult because Durga will have to separate her jealousy from her suspicion if he sees Versa again, because people may think she is attracting her only because she wants Yaman. This will Durga hesitate even. When she sees something genuinely dangerous, she may become Barsa's biggest advantage. She may Durga jealousy against her. If Durga tells Yaman that the Barsa cannot be trusted, Yaman may believe Durga is speaking emotionally rather than the logically. Durga Barsa could present herself as a calm person while making Durga appear unstable. This will be especially painful because Durga already has a drag personality. She quickly when she believes something is wrong, and that make it easy for a clever opponent to make her decision unreasonable. Barsa may understand this weakness and the create situation designed to make Durga loses her temper in front of Yaman. But Barsa may underestimate one the person Lucy. The previous story showed that the Lucy did not completely dismiss Durga's fears. Instead, he quietly asked Kazim to investigate Barsa. This means investigations may already be happening in the background while the romantic drama take everyone's attention. Kazim could begins by the checking Barsa movement, past connected professional history, and the anything usable surrounding that the cold room incident. At first, he may find strong enough to the prove dog association. Barsa may have been careful, but a small insensitivity could be enough to the change everything. The important clue may not directly prove that Barsa trapped Doga. Instead, Kazim may discover that the Barsa lied about where she was, where she now, or who he has contacted. A small lie is often more useful in the mystery that they immediately prove because it gives that the story room to the grow. Lucy may intentionally keep this discovery secret. He now told her strongly, and he may want rival evidence because telling her he may also understand that the warning Barsa to the early could case her to destroy evidence or change her the behavior. This could create a parallel storyline where Doga is emotionally fighting Barsa is the public, while Lucy and the Kazim quietly examines hers in private. If it happens, viewer may see something usable for the Doga. She could be correct about that the dangers will looking wrong to everyone around her. This will increase the pressure on her every time Barsa smile near Yaman or the act innocent. Doga will have to the control herself every time Yaman defend Barsa. Doga may feel about jealousy and the return she now there is something wrong but cannot prove it. This will also bring back an important part of the Doga development. Earlier in this series, she often railed on her the position, confidence, or the quiet judgment. Now she may have the learned patience instead of accepting Barsa directly. She may the begins watching her the carefully. Doga decision to watch instead of the react will surprise Barsa. Barsa may accept anger and the confrontation because this is response are easier to the control. A quieter Doga will be more dangerous to her. She could be noticing detail that the previous makes perverse emotional state changes. Whenever Yaman state and the Doga are loans, perhaps Barsa now emotional information she should be now. Perhaps Doga see Barsa near an area of the farm connected to the earlier incident. None of this thing will be enough alone, but together they could stronger. Doga believe that he is facing something more serious than the jealousy. At the same time, Tolga may have a decision that surprising viewer. She should chooses not to fire for the Yaman. She may believe that if the Yaman truly wants Barsa, that interfering will only humiliate her. This will not stop that she is loving him. It will mean that she refuses to the back for somebody who has the chosen another person. Such a decisions will feed Doga pride but could also emotional growth. Instead of trying to win Yaman through the competition, she should decide that the love has to come freely. If he does not kisses her on her way, her forcing that the situation will never give her the relationship she wants. Ironically, she decides may be exactly what makes Yaman more aware of this feeling. He has grown used to the Doga being present in his emotional world. Even when they are fighting, she is there. Even when she irritated him, she educated is the throw. If Doga stop explanation and changing, stop responding to every small challenge, Yaman couldn't be feeling that the impetus created by her the distance he may receive, that he misses her the attention, her argument, her energy, and the certain excitement she brings into his life. This realization may become stronger when he spends more time with Bersa and discover this emotional peace is not necessarily the same as happiness. Yaman may also began questioning whether she accepted Barsa's feeling because he truly wanted a relationship or because he was emotionally tired. The timing is important. He has faced dangerous pressure problem at the farm and the complicated bond with the Doga. Barsa come to him and the vulnerable moment and offer clear affections. Yaman could have responsive from the compassion and the familiarity rather than the community continually. If so, he will soon then to confront that the consequence. Barsa will take the response very seriously. For her, it may represent a promise. For him, it may have been a moment he did not fully understand. The difference could turn Barsa's happiness into fear. At first, she may believe she has finally won. She has Yaman beside her, and the Doga appears to have lost her the changing. But winning something is very difficult from feeling secure about it. But now that the Doga and the Yaman share emotional connection she cannot control. Every look between them will travel her. Every moment they laugh together will feel dangerous. Every time Yaman protects Doga, Barsa may wonder with her. His real heart is somewhere else. Instead of the becoming clamor after getting closer to the Yaman, she may become even more unstable because now she was something she is terrified of the losing. This is why the threat toward Doga is so important. The official materials inside that the Barsa openly warned Doga and suggested that losing Yaman will leave her with the nothing. These tell her that the Barsa conflict is no longer hidden beneath polite behavior. She wants Olga to understand that she is serious, but making such a threat could become a hug mistake. If anything happened to Doga after this warning, Barsa immediately become a stronger suspect. Doga will remember the threat, and if she tells Lucy or the Kazim, they will have another reason to investigate. My prediction is that the Barsa may not immediately try to physically harm Doga again. This will be too obvious. Instead, she may use fear. She may create a situation that make Doga believe she is being watched or the get irritated. She goal should be frighten Doga into leaving Yaman alone without creating evidence that can be traced back to the Barsa. The physiological pressure should be more effective because Doga is already recovering for a frightened experience as a trend, sound, a missing object, or the frightened itself or unexplained movement around the farm could make her the wonder with another attack is coming. The official preview also suggests that the Doga will witness something frightened while she is alone. I believe this the moment may be connected to the mysterious surrounding Barsa, but that the series may deliberately make that the trust unclear. Doga could see that the shadow discover evidence of someone anterior, a place they should not be or notice, and the object connected with the cold room incident. She may intentionally think Barsa is the responsible. She is real person involved should be somebody else. This will make that the mysterious open while still making Barsa look the suspicion. Another possibility is that Barsa itself may be in danger. This creates a very difficult turn. If Doga seems something that suggests somebody is targeting Barsa, she will face a difficult moral choices. She does not trust Barsa and believe he may have treat to the harmed her, yet Doga is not kind of the person who will kindly allow another person to be hurt. She may step in her help Barsa even while suspending her. Such a sentence could make that the more complex because it will show that the difference between them. Doga may dislike Barsa but still refuses to cross curtain line. If the Doga save Barsa from dangerous, Yaman could misread that the interior situations. He might believe that the two women are the finally making pieces, while the Barsa could privately because he was more threatened by the Doga frightened. Alternatively, Barsa may use that the one to make herself appear vulnerable and move closer to the Yaman. They will frustrated Doga because every time to uncover that the trust might somewhere threatened Barsa position. This story could then push Doga toward closing that the problems without ripping on the Yaman spot. This will be good for the Doga character. Her the story should not become only about whether Yaman's love her. She also has a role in the farm responsibility connected to her family and the growing understanding of what kind of the person she wants to become. The farm has already forced her to change. She entered this world with the idea about business and the success, but living there has showed her that the peoples cannot be managed like the number relationship, reality, transitions, and the trust are equally important. The new honeymoon crisis may test everything she has learned. Nas and the Octet could arrive expecting an unforgettable romantic experience, and the Doga may intentionally focus too much on making everything perfect. She might create a beautiful plan without understanding what that the couple actually need. Yaman, knowing her predictable life on the farm can be, may prefer a simpler approach. Their disagreements could lead to someone's problems because they listed that the honeymoon guest has deeper issue that no decoration or the expensive plans can solve. Perhaps Nasa and the Octave might display a strong difference between their family or the social background. This would make their story directly relevant to Tolga and the Yaman. One of the gems may have from the world while that the other has a similar background. One may have spent years adapting to the other world and now feel suffocated. Their honeymoon crisis could therefore ask important questions. Who do the people come from difficult life? Who is supporting to the chain? Toga may intentionally be about meet in the middle. They sound unpredictable, reasonable, but Yaman may point it out that the compromise can become unfair when the person is always the one changing. The idea could quietly force Toga to the remembers how she once treated him. Their relationship began with a warmth connected to the status, judgment, and humiliation, even though Toga has changed. Yaman may still carry part of that the pains. Love does not automatically erase that the past. If they are even going to have a real relationship, they will eventually have to discuss not only how they feel now but also what happened, because this is feeling development. The honeymoon couple may therefore because that the reason Doga finally understands something important about Yaman. She may realize that he is keeping distance only because he enjoys fighting with her. He may be afraid of the trusting someone who once made him feel small, even if she does not understand that the impact of her behavior at the time. The impact become part of the human life. Doga may already started development empathy, but that the next stories could take her the growth further. Instead of asking why, Yaman will not simply admit his feelings. She may ask why he will need in order to feel safe. Admitting it the chain will make the journey more emotionally mature. She should stop treating love as the competition where she must defect Versa. Love will become a question of the trust. If Yaman cannot trust her with his vulnerability, that the defected another woman will not solve anything. Doga may begin showing him through her the action that she has changed rather than trying to confess him with the world. She may respect his choices, help him perfect to the farm, and support him when he faces trouble without accepting romantic rival. Yaman will notice that the two he may compare that the Doga standing before him now with the woman he remembered from his painful beginning. The would crazy that her anger has kept him tied to an old version of her. This does not mean that the past should be forgotten, but it means that the need to decide whether he is willing to see who she was. He become the farm has the changing both of them. Torga has become more connected to ordinary life and the need to the other, while Yaman has been forced to the emotional door he once preferred to the keep close. The moonlight scene heightened at the official preview may become that the places where that this emotional tension almost break. The official material say Doga and the Yaman share romantic movement by the sea entered the full moon. This is likely to be meaningless. All at the jealousy and misunderstanding. The story already ready to give them a quieter moment where the outsider will disappear, yet I do not accept to complete love confessions immediately. The writer may take them very close honesty and then stop before everything he resolved. The Barsa is the reason if Yaman has resolved, allow Barsa to believe they are together openly. Moving toward Doga will create a moral problem for him. Yaman cannot simply behave healthy through bursts of feeling do not matter. She may therefore step back even if the moonlight movement make it love for Doga impossible to deny. This will hurt Doga again because she may see affection in his behavior but the hair distance in his decision. Yet this time is the might understand why instead of accusing he does not care. She may leave. He is the trap between when he feel and want. He believe he is the right. The inner conflict could become that the strongest part of the Yaman storyline. He wanted to be a decent person if he has given Barsa hope. He may feel responsible for the hopes at the same time. Staying with somebody out of the responsibility is unfair to the bored people. The longer he avoided this trust, the more meaningful that the final choices will become. Versa will become more attractive, Doga will become more hurt, and Yaman himself will feel increasingly divided. I think the honeymoon crisis may teach Yaman exactly this the reason Naz and the Octave could be trying to maintain that the marriage because they think they has already made a promise even though they have discussed honestly discussed. They need each other's when helping a Yaman may elicit that the commitment without honesty can become another kind of the damage if he is not truly in love with the Basa. Continue that the relationship simply because he feels sorry for her while immediately hurt her more. However, Yamas probably will not end the relationship immediately. The story needs time to allow Barsa's dangerous side to develop and for Yaman to discover it himself. If Doga tells him too early that Barsa is the dangerous, he may decide Barsa, but even he began notices a strange behavior which is one highs. Certainly with the weekends where Barsa become too the controlling, she could ask him whither he is going or where he is helping Doga or when he continues spending time with her. At first, Yaman may understand her the jealousy because that the situation is complicated. Eventually, however, he may feel that Barsa is trying to control his choices. Barsa could make another mistake by attacking Doga character. Yaman may tolerate jealousy, but he may not tolerate unfair cruelty. He may now hurt the fly as he has been saying her the courage. When he was in danger, she asked herself without thinking. When the one faces problems, she continues trying to help even after making mistakes. If the Barsa repeatedly described Doga as the selfish or the manipulator, Yaman may begin affecting Doga. The defense will reveal his feeling even while before he is prepared to admit it. Yaman may overhear Yaman defects her and become confused. She has been trying to accept that she is facing Barsa. If his actions keep telling a difficult story, this can create the kind of the emotional tension that the work will. In the prediction story, Torga will not now be her to all protect her. If she hopes she reaches another heartbreak, if she let go, she may be walking away from that the person who they actually love her. Meanwhile, Lucy investigator in the Barsa could take us more serious directions. Kazi may discover something connected to the hospital or to the Barsa research action. Because Mert was involved in the professional trouble that pushes Barsa emotionally, he could become part of the investigation even he has no idea when she may have the done. Mert has been ambition and complicated connection around at the farm. If Kazim started asking questions, Smart might first believe Lucy investigating him rather than the Barsa. The misunderstanding could create another layer of the tension. Smart may trouble trying to hide information because he thinks Lucy is looking into its business plan. If he is something unrelated, he will accidentally make himself look connected to the cold room incident for a short period. Suspicion may move from the Barsa toward Mert. This would give Barsa becoming breathing room and allowing her to represented herself at this innocent. Doga might refuse to Mert is responsible even though she has been reason not to trust him. Arensis could tell her that the cold room attack was the personal rather than the business reacted. Somebody wanted to threaten or remove her because of the Yaman or because of the farm ownership. This would against pointed to her Barsa, but with evidence, Doga certainly will make her the look of sad. The farm financial and the business problem could also cannot disappear simply because that the romance has become stronger. The new honeymoon's guests are connected to an agreement important to the Lucy future according to the official preview. That means their stay may determine whether a wider business opportunity succeeds. If not, and the octal if angry Lucy could more than the money, his reputation may be suffered. Doga may feel personally responsible because she has been pushes the farms toward new idea and new kind of the customer. This pressure will give Yaman another reason to the work closely with the Tolga even if they want emotional distance. The farm will not allow it. Every cases bring them back together. The honeymoon guests may demand change, cancer plans, return to love or involve their families. Doga and the Yamans will have to keep solving problems side by side. The more they work together, the harder it becomes to predict that their connections is important. One important moment may come when the Doga become overwhelmed. She has been dealing with the physical danger, emotional heartbreak, business pressure, and that the fear that nobody breaks believe her. Until now, they have been responding to this stress by becoming louder or more determined. The time she may becoming quiet, Yaman could help her allowing after she has spent at the interior. They predicted everything is defined because this is prediction narration rather than the dialogue. I see that the scene working through the behavior rather than a large confession. Someone noticed that the Toga is not her the genetic self. He is trying near her without forcing her to explain anything. Toga intentionally keep her the distance, but his presence give her a sense of the safety she does not want to the admit she need. Nothing dramatic has to the happen. A simple moment of the silence could say about the relationship that another argument Barsa may witness part of their scene from a distance. From her this will be a moment may elicit that the being official closely to the Yaman has not giving her his full heart. She can stand beside him, but she cannot create that the same emotional understanding he naturally shared with the Torga. This realization smart because that the trigger for her next dangerous decision. Instead of the controlling Yaman directly, Barsa may target that the environment about Barsa. She can interfere with the honeymoon she wants or create a business failure that have nothing blamed Dorga. This would be a smarter move than the physical attacking her. If the Dorga lost Lucy trust and is removed from the responsibility at the farm, she will have the fewer reason to contain closer to the Yaman. Barsa come together therefore begins attacking Torga positions rather than her body. For example, important reservations could disappear, supplement can be changed, or the private information about that the honeymoon gas could be leaked. Doga might appear closeness. Yammer may intentionally be angry because that the farm future is at risk. Barsa, who hoped that his deed pushes them apart, but that the plan could produce it at the opposite result if the Yaman discovered that the mistake does not match Torga Yaman behaviors. Yaman may starting investigation quietly. This will be important because it will be the first time he actively questioned that the version of Barsa he wanted to the belief. A small could connected that the sabotage to someone who has access to the information only Barsa's now. Yaman will have immediately excuses her, but doubt entered their mind. Once the doubt appeared, every precedent incident would take different. He may remember Dogan curtailing about the cold room door. He may remember Barsa warning and her emotional reactions. He may think about whether he dismissed Doga too quickly because he wanted an easy explanation. This realization could create guilty Doga near died. And if the Yaman discovered that her suspicion was correct, he may feel terrible for failing to trust her. Doga suddenly surprising may not use this moment to blame him. Earlier in the series, she might have demanding and the apologize immediately. Amitro's Doga could simply tell her through her the behavior that discovering that the trust matter more than the proving she was the right. This will affect Yaman deeply because it will show him how she has changed the relationship between Lucy and the Parisian. May also develop a parallel with his story. Their revealed connection represent another version of the love shaped by the triumph, pride, and the all wound. While Doga and the Yaman are struggling with her too, the difficult people can trust each other. Lucy and the, for instance, are dealing when that happens when feelings survive fear of the separation. This story could wait for too long for become honest. May lose years they can never recover. Lucy may see his daughter's situations more clearly than the dog Alice. He could notice how she reacted where Yaman is near but understand that her feelings are the serious. As a father, he may want to protect her from the weak heart. At the same time, he cannot racing for her. He wants history with his sons will make less willing to interfere. He may encourage Doga to decide when she wants with her because make her the decision for her. Doga may rejected that the idea at the first because she believed Yaman already belonged with the Barsa, yet even with Nas and Octave may changing her the perspective if she see that the honeymoon couple destroyed their relationship through assumptions he may discover understand that he is doing that the same thing. She said when the embrace and accepted it was a complete trust. She was never asking Yaman that she actually feels. She never gave herself that the chain to the say when she had planned to say. This does not mean Doga should immediately confessing her the love. While Yaman is with the person sees he may decided that she is near clarity. She discovered to now with her that the connection she feels exists only in her imagination. The decision will lead to the moonlight movement. Doga and the Yaman will find themselves alone to the sea after solving another crisis. The noise of the farm disappears and for the first time they are not arguing about the business or the another person. Doga may become begun to be something important but stop whenever she remembers Barsa. Yamar may also come closer to the admitting that his feelings are not simple. This scene could unfinished. But what will have the knowing that the attractions between them is the real. This will change that the emotional balance even without a confessions. After that the night Yaman could no longer honestly tell himself that the casing Versa solving his feeling for the Versa. Mary Smith said that the chain immediately Yaman became distracted, less contained and more protected of the Doga. His relationship with the Versa began to feel like something he is the maintenance rather than the something he is the naturally living. Versa responded by becoming more determined. The more she tried to secure him, the further away he emotionally moved. At first time at same points, Barsa may ask Yaman to prove his commitment through a decision involving Dogas. Perhaps she wanted him to stop working closely with her and refusing to slap her with this something. Yaman may finally push back. He could it clear through his reaction that nobody get to control who is help or who is the treat people at the farm. The boundary will terrify Barsa because it will show that if the influence over him has the limit, she has been believed that once Yaman accepts her the affections, Doga will automatically disappear from her the life. Instead, Doga remain part of the everything. She is connected to the farm, Lucy, the restaurants and the Yaman daily world. Removing her emotionally is impossible without changing Yaman's whole life. Another strong prediction is that the scary every Doga witness could lead directly to the Yaman protected her again. Doga may see something strange and follow it because she wants proof. She should end up in the isolated part of the property near that the beast storage building or another problem. So calling as easy help is the difficult. Barsa may not have planned to the physical hurt, but that the situations could become dangerous. Yaman noticed Doga is missing and looking for her because he now heard the habit he find her the quickly than anyone else the moment. The details understand and the wool matters. Yaman understand where Doga is likely to go with her. She believes she had discovered something. He may frighten her the frightened but refusing to admit it. The issue itself will again reveal that the difference between word and the action. Yaman may tells everyone he is the committed everywhere, but when the Doga is in danger, is the first reaction is still to the run toward her. Barsa cannot complete with the interest. Barsa can protect with their say, but instead often show where that the deepest feeling life. Afterward, Yaman could become angry with the Doga for taking risks alone. Doga already tired to the being treated like she imagined that the danger she become equally frustrated. Their arguments will be emotionally energies beyond that the immediately situations. Yaman anger come from the fear of losing her. Doga angers come from waiting him to trust her. This will finally push Yaman to admit to the herself that he is not neutral. The person does not feel that level of the fear for something who mean nothing. They may sit alone afterward and they think about every time Doga has been in the dangers, but the every time has been fought and every time he has tried to the create distance only to return to her against. Meanwhile, Kazim could become lucid that the first serious evidence against Barsa may be security information showed that the Barsa was somewhere near the cold room when she climbed to the everywhere. Meanwhile, a phone record connected her with someone involved. The evidence may still not be enough for the police or the direct association, but it connected Lucy that the Doga affair was the just terrified. Lucy first histories will be the protect Doga immediately. However, acting too quickly could be dangerous. If the person listening they are investigating her, she might make her disappear more. Lucy may therefore decide to keep that the evidence secret and watches her. This creates a tense situation because Roga remained near something her the father increased the belief could be dangerous. Lucy may ask Kasim to stay close to the Doga without telling her. Doga might notice Kasim appearing everywhere and become irritated, not knowing that he has been told to protect her. This could lighten moment in and the tense stories while also keeping that the mysterious active. Mart role may become more interesting at once. He may begin noticing that the Bassa is not behaving normally. Even though he has the conflict with her, he might one of the first people outside the Doga family to see that the dangers because Mart has in one questionable action. Nobody may trust him warning at the first. This will create an ironic situations where people who usually disagree with the Toga begin reaches at the same conclusions from the different directions. Versa could become increasingly isolated the more she tried to hold on to Yaman. The more mistakes he make, her tragedy may be the fear of losing her because she is the accepted reason she losing him. If she has accepted courtesy and allow Yaman to the case freely, he might have keep in respect even when if he does not for love. By trying to control that the outcome, she will destroy about trust and the affections. I do not think the coming story will reveal every secret about Bursa immediately. A full exposure will end the triangle to the quickly. Since viewer may receive one the strong clue while Yaman uncertainly Doga will becomes more convinced, Lucy will become more suspicious, and the Yaman will become questioning thing, but Barsa will still have room to defect herself. The honeymoon storyline may reaches its one turning point around at the same time. Naz and the Octacle decided that their differences are too large and prepared to leave separately. The broken honeymoon school threatened Lucy agreement. Everyone at the farm may panic because that the business conclusions could be the seer dog and the Yammer will have to put their personal issue decided. Instead of trying to create another romantic surprise for the couple, that they may finally encourage Nas and the Octor to listen honesty to each other. They will understand that the problem was never the farm or the honeymoon arrangement. The real problem was that they both entered marriage believing love would automatically solve difference they never discussed. Watching that the couple finally become honest will hate Dog and the Aman deeply, they will recognize themselves in this situation. About half this went into much excusing when she other things. Yaman excusing Toga cannot truly understand this the world. Toga excusing Yaman has the casing version completely. Neither association may be truly true. Nas and the Octet could eventually decide to continue their honeymoons not because the problem disappears, not because they are finally willing to work through them. The decision solved that the important argument and bring belief to Lucy. More importantly, it leaves Doga and the Amar Villa question they cannot easily escape. If they peoples with two mutual difference can choose to understand each other, why are the Doga and the Yaman still running from the same possibility? They may lead into the romantic sensual sequence. After that, the business crisis is solved. Everyone releases music, celebration, and the positive atmosphere bring Doga and the Yaman near each other again. The official preview indicated rehearsal movement together at Valhalla sunset scene for the short time as they may be forgot but the investigations and they found the problem Doga could allow herself to enjoy Yaman prison without turning into the competition. Yaman could look at her and see that the woman he loved rather than the person connected to his old anger. Their relationship becomes simple for a few moments. This simplicity is what makes that the moment dangerous emotionally. When they later find themselves alone, the attraction becomes impossible to ignore. Doga may decide not to confess directly because she accepted that the relations with the Versa. Yaman may want to explain but not now where to the begin. Their silence full of the everything they cannot say. Predict that unexpected physical movement should that the balance. It does not need to become a kiss. They may almost fail. Yaman may catch Doga or the Doga may become frightened by something and they hold on to him. This important part is said that the action itself but that the reaction afterward neither move away immediately. Their sleep will confirm what word already now. Their feelings are not gone and the distance had been solved anything. Yaman might them this step back because guilt about the Versa return. Doga could interrupt her hesitations correctly this time. She may understand and he is not rejected her. He is afraid of the hurting someone else. The understanding will give Doga a certain mix of the hope and the sadness. She releases Yaman may love her, but she also releases love alone with no solved at the situations. He has to make her one decision. She cannot make it for him. Doga may interfere, tell herself that she will not interfere. She will protect herself from Barsa, help her family, and they continue her the possibilities. If Yaman eventually chooses her, the choices has to be his. This will make one of the Doga biggest changes. Earlier she might have trying to control the result. Now she allow another personal freedom when that the freedom could hurt her. Yaman part will be harder. He can no longer predict. He does not know when he feels he the animal's guest has he forced him to think about the different Doga distance has showing her how much he missing her. The sunset movement she has remind him how stronger his connection remains. Now he must decide with her stay with the Barsa is the kindness or the coward dies before he can make her the decisions. However, Barsa behavior may create a larger crisis. She should see enough of the seaside movement to believe Yaman is slipping away. Her the fair return with the public. She may confront Doga afterward and make that the threat even clear. Doga insists of the becoming fitter in front of her may reflect remind climb. The climbers will make Versa more the angry than any arguments. Doga make it clear through her the attitude that she will not leave at the farm and will not allow anyone to scare her away. She does not need to fight for Yaman to defect herself. Barsa may then understand that imitation has the fail. If she wants Doga gone, she will need the strongest plan. This will become that the dark cliffhanger of the story. However, I think that the writer may add another beast. Barsa's plans could be interrupted by someone she does not accept. Kazim will already be following her because of the Lucy investigation. If she moved toward Doga or the prepare something suspicious, Kazim could see part of it. He may not understand everything, but he could finally obtain that the evidence Lucy need. They would put Lucy in the difficult positions. He may want to comfort Barsa immediately, yet Barsa is emotionally involved with her. If Lucy accepts her without complete proof, Yaman could believe that the family is attacking Barsa because Doga is jealous. Lucy may decide that the Yaman need to discover that the trust herself. He might therefore showing Yaman only a pieces of the evidence and ask him to think carefully. Yaman's first reactions could be disbelief. He does not want to imagine that somebody he trusted even could immediately endanger Doga. But he also now Lucy will be investigated without the reasons. Yaman began repelling Barsa's behavior in his mind, her extreme fear of losing him, her astrology toward Doga, her emotional instability, and the timing of the suspicion even all they began connected. He may still resist that the confusion because accepting it means accepting that the response to the Barsa confessions placed Doga closer to the dangerous. Guilt could then push Yaman toward Doga. He wanted to warn her to be careful, but Doga may become angry because she has saying that at the same time. Yet she may notice something different in his face for the first time. Yaman believed her this changing more than Doga. Then she accepted the romantic pain does not disappear, but that the loneliness does not. Someone she finally understands that her fear was the real. Yaman may insist that the Doga not remains alone until they understand what is happening. They naturally pulls them near each other against Barsa. See Yaman protected Doga and feel that everything she fears is happening at this stage. This year could deliberately blur Barsa's guilt. Perhaps she did threaten Doga and the act obsessively, but another person was responsible for that of the dangerous event. If so, Yaman and the Doga could believe they have solved that the mysteries only to discover larger threat the later. Such a twist will prevent that the storyline from becoming too simple. They are another enemies connected to the farm is the land, its history, and the Lucy part is the series has already shown that the dangers can come from the old conflict, money, ownership, and the revenge. Because of that, not everything need to come from that the love triangle, but some will be dangerous who is not responsible for the everything. If Doga discovers evidence that declares Barsa one event, she may face a difficult choice. She could hide it and allow everyone to continue suspending her the rival or tell that the trust event through doing or the weakens her one positions. I believe Doga will casing that the trust. This will demonstrate her growth and separated her from the Barsa morally. Yaman must be deeply affected if the Doga defending Barsa against an unfair association disputes everything between them. This will prove that the Doga is not motivated or by the jealousy. Her the earlier suppositions come from the genuine fear, not a desire to remove a romantic river. Barsa might even feel a scam for a moment. She could release it that the woman she treated as an enemy. He just protected her feel from something she did not deserve, but obsessions may be stronger than the gratitude of the changing immediately. Barsa could interest Doga's actions has another reason. Yaman dismissed her the next stage of that. The love triangle would therefore become less about who can attract Yaman and more about who the Yamans can the trust. Physical attractions already exist between Doga and the Yaman. They can build honesty after such a painful beginnings. Yaman might overcome his fear of the being humiliated again. Doga must overcome her insist to protect herself with the pride. Barsa must decide with her love guilt her the right to control another person. Their three emotional problems are the connected and the coming stories may force all of them into the open. The title of the natures fit these directions beautifully because people can make plan protect themselves and casing to the safest part, but emotional do not always obey this plan. Yaman may choices Barsa with his mind and still move toward Doga with his heart. Doga may decide to let Yaman go and still be unable to stop caring about him. Barsa may believe confessions will protect love and discover that love disappears when the freedom disappears. The fire itself continued to react at the places where all disease controlling plan collapsed. Every new gas, business problem, family cigarette, and unexpected dangers for that the character to the rival who are truly us. Naz and the Octame arrive and the strangers and their travel honeymoon, school explore, trust, Doga and the Yaman have been avoided by the end of the part except NASA and the immediately problem to be solved. Lucy important business situation to the become safer and Doga and the Yaman to reach a new emotional understanding. They probably will not officially become a couple yet. These stories tales may be a much unresolved tension with the Barsa, but something will change that cannot easily be revealed. Yaman may believe that being with the Barsa does not remove his feeling for the Yamans. Yaman Doga may see that the Raman's parents' choice was not as simple as he believed. Barsa may realizes that the having kissing beside her does not mean she has in his heart. Lucy may become confessing that the dangers around his rival daughter is the real. Kazi may move closer to discovering that they trust. The strongest ending for this part will place the dog in dangers one again. But these times with a clue they finally changing Yaman's views. Perhaps after that the romantic seasons movement Doga returned alone and they noticed something disturbing. She followed that the clue and discovered evidence connected with the Barsa or with someone using Barsa's situation as a cover. Before Doga can understand when she has found something lazy, she is there. The atmosphere shift from the romance to the dangers. Doga tried to believe that find her very block. For a few seconds, she may believe that the cold room nightmares is repeating itself is another form. At the same time, someone noticed that the Toga has disappeared. Earlier, he might have just assumed she simply want home or the wanted spaces. Now, knowing about that, the suspicion incident, they immediately understand that something could be wrong. Yaman brings searching while Barsa watches his the panic. The panic tell her everything she did not want to know. With her notice, Yaman give her relationship. Doga matter to him at a level he cannot find. Yaman eventually fight the Doga, but the person responsible has already escaped. He see how the frightened she is and understandable that she is no longer. A series of the accident Doga show him with her clue he managed to the cave. The clue may not be enough to identify that the attacker, but it could connect it that the new event to the earlier cold room incident. Someone finally accept that the Doga was right to be afraid. Versus then the appears perhaps acting concerned. Doga look at her differently because she no longer now with her. Versa is the attacker part of the problem or another pieces of a larger mysterious. Yaman also look at the Versa with the first real doubt in his eyes. The change in the Yamans will be more dangerous to the Versa than any associations. One trust began to the break. Love cannot easily repair. Doga may decided not to tell Yaman about the Versa earlier. Threat immediately because he made proof. But Yaman could discover that the trip from the someone else. When he learned that the belief directly threatened Doga and the Doga kept quietly to their work getting more the troubles, he became more angry with the Barsa and the protected of the Doga. Barsa mentioned that for the word come from the jealousy and were never meet as a real threat. Yamar may want to believe were becoming accepting. Another explanation is the painful. Yet doubt with the years from her the point stories can move toward a much bigger confrontations. Yaman will have to decide whether he can continue a relationship without trust. Doga will have to decide whether she can love Yaman without losing herself. Barsa will have to decide how far she is preparing to go. The beauty of the coming story is that the Doga may actually become stronger by losing that the position she thought she wanted at the end of the previous event. If the believy Barsa has won because Yama responds to her the feeling. But Doga may believe that the discover he is not won by reaching something first. This is the world through understanding, sacrifice, trust, and the truth. She has already shown that her connection to the Yaman is deeper than ordinary attractions. When he was in danger in the earlier event, she acted without calculating that the cost. Yaman has repeating done that the same for her. Their relationship is strongest when there is no time to the predict. The next stories may finally make them understand this the pattern they spent ordinary moment fighting because this pride control him. During the dangers, their true feeling take over. The challenge is learning to live with the honesty even when somebody's life is at the risk. Naz and the Octave marriage could provide exactly then the lessons our real relationship cannot survive only on the dramatic moment. The people need to the cases each other during ordinary disagreement. Do Doga and the Yamans may be capable of the risking their life for one another, but still struggle to the sit together and the speak honestly about the pain until they learn that the love cannot become the stable. This is where I do not escape a perfect routine. The next part should move then the forward by keeping that the emotional conflict alive. We may see closeness, jealousy, protection, suspicion, sense perhaps and almost confessions, but complete happiness will probably remain just beyond easy reaches. Doga will come out of these periods with a clear understanding of herself. She loves Yaman. She also now she cannot force him to choices. Her tensions will gradually shift from the winning her to protecting herself and covering that the trust. This change will make her the more activity to the Yaman because he will share this strength without that the old game between them. She stopped trying to embrace him and simply become herself. Yaman meanwhile may discover that the woman he once judged through his pain has become that the person he trusts most when something wrong. This realization will frighten him because trusting Doga means reopening that the old wound he has tried so hard to protect. But love in this series has never moved in this straight line. Every step forward created another threat. This is why that the Barca storyline is not simply an the obstacle placed between the main characters. She represents human attempt to choices and immediately emotional safer road. The problem is that the safe road do not always lead with her, that the late her to go. Barca represent certainly, Doga represent race. Barca tell Yaram certainly when she want. Doga challenging him, angers and surprising and forces him to examine as part of herself she would rather ignore. If Yaman choices only what feels safe, he may accept that the next part discovering how the simply safety can feel without emotional confession. This does not make Barca unimportant. In fact, her stories could become more tragic as her behavior becomes softer. She may genuinely love Yaman but have no healthy way to handle that the possibility of the losing him, insisting of passing with her he did truly love her. She may becoming focused on the stopping him from loving somewhere else, that the difference will destroy that the everything she want to the protect. Doga will eventually understand this rather than the directly completing. She may refusing to participate in the Barca game. Barca want a battle because the battle security that the fusion that Yaman is a prize that one the Yaman can take from another. Doga may decide that the Yaman is responsible for his one heart. This will be one of the strongest things she can do. It gives Yaman responsibility instead of flowing him to the remind because to the woman while about fight against around him. Yaman then has no excuse. He might look at the Barca, look at Doga and look honestly at himself. My prediction is that he will not be able to make that decision before another major different dangers interrupt anything. This series seems prepared to the connected romance and the suspense more strongly eventually because Doga fear of the Barca is becoming part of the official story direction. The dangers may force someone to close through the actions before he choices through the world. When the critical moment arrives, he will move toward Doga without thinking. Barca will say it, Doga will feel it, and the Yaman herself will finally understand it. At that the moment returning to the old balance will be almost impossible. Barca may still stand beside Yaman publicly, but that the relationship will already be the creating underneath. Doga will still climb she won distance, but hope will have the returns. Yaman may still avoid the direct confessions, but he will no longer to ever predict that his heart is undecided. The investigations will also be moving closer to the Barca. Lucy and the Kazim may contain through information to the beacon connected her the behavior to the dangers surrounded Doga. Might could become unexpected witness or sources of the information. The farm business succeeds may temporarily improve. After that, this honeymoon crisis giving Lucy one the problem solved at just another become much more the serious. Ransom becomes Lucy emotional support has his worries about their seal's daughter. The whole relationship could quietly grow stronger while that the younger character repeats some of the same mistakes they made years ago. And Doga may finally see that the greatest danger is not losing Yaman to another woman. The greater danger is losing her, the one judgment because of fear and the jealousy. She will need to stay calm, watch carefully and wait for the trust. Yaman will need to decide with her he trusted that the person Doga has become or the remain trap for the money. or once who she wants now. Barsa will need to decide if with her she can accept love that must be freely or with her she will continue trying to control it. Nas and the octave will remind everyone that the distance does not automatically destroy relationships. Silence, fear and refusal to understand one often more dangerous than the difference themselves. The lesson may be exactly what the Durga and the Yamans need. The coming story therefore looked ready to the changing their relationship without making that the changing simple. It will not be only about the jealousy, it will be about trust. It will not be only about verses standing between them. It will be about that the emotional wild Doga and the Yamans built long before Bursa entering that the center of the conflict. This is Wala becoming to the break Doga neath. Experience has the only training what matter to do her. She is less interesting in pretend she does not care. Yaman repeating of the losing her in the exposing emotional he tried to the heart. Bursa growing disappears will increase that the pressure will neither of them can remain neutral by the end of the stage. Doga may still walk away from Yaman physically but emotionally they will be closer than before. Yaman may still be connected to Versa, but this distrust in that relationship will be weakest. Versa may believe she has can repair something by removing Doga from the pictures, yet each attempt to separate them may reveal how stronger they are connected. And that may become that the cancerous part of this law of the nature, the made that the character try to control when they feel. These stories where feeling return. Doga try to hide her love and become jealous enough to understand it. Yaman trying to keep Doga at the safe distance and repeatedly found himself protected her. Versa trying to secure Yaman and may become so afraid of losing him then he is pushes him away. Lucy tried to manage problems quietly, but the danger around his daughter may force him to act. Naz and the Octave may arrive expecting a perfect honeymoon, but discover that the love becomes real only when the protection disappears. Every storyline can therefore move toward the same idea. Without becomes repetitive, people cannot become real relationship by controlling appearance. Eventually, that the trust carried out for Doga that the trust is simply when it's saying it is difficult. She is love Yaman. For the Yaman, the trust is more painful. The woman he try harder to keep outside his heart may only be its clears. For the Barsa, the trust may be devastated. Receiving Yaman defected in one the moment does not mean she can win future. This is why I expect that the next major turning point to belong to the Yaman. Doga has the only faces her the feeling. Barsa has the already declared her Yaman is the one who must decide with her what is the feeling more. Until he does, every person around him will remain trapped inside that the uncertainty. The coming danger may be the fall that the finally end that the uncertainty. And one Yaman is the forced to the choosing between protected that the comfortable life he think that they should want and protected Doga. The choices he make in an insist may reveal that the future for the interior love story. That does not mean Doga and the Yaman will immediately becomes happy. In fact, discovering their love may only create a new set of the problems. They will still have to deal with the past, Barsa, their background, the farm, Lucy, and the trust they repeatedly damage. By after this coming point, part denied that the love itself may no longer be possible. This story will then move from the questions of the Vither Doga and the Yamans love each other to a much harder questions. Vither love between two very difficult people can survive surrounded against around it. And it Nas and the octet travel honeymoon is the truly being used as a mirror for the main couple. The answer may begin to become clear. Difference are not the biggest threat. Fear is pride, is silence, is possession, is and usable to the trust someone after they have charged is. Doga and the Yamans have all of this is problem between them, but they have something stronger growing underneath. They have repeatedly each other when that the situation become dangerous. They have learned from one another. They have changed because of one another. Their next part may be the first time, may begin connected that the connection is not that the temporary. For the Doga, these relations may bring both hope and the danger. For Yaman, it will bring responsibility. For the Barsa, it will bring panic. And for everyone at the farm, it may become a change of the one that turn a romantic. reverting into the most serious confrontation that the story has shown so far. The peaceful moment of the honeymoon guest, the celebration, the farm business plan, and the romantic midnight, and therefore hide much darker approaching from the behind, where Doga has only survived one fatal incident. She may not have unlucky if she ignored that the next warning. By this time, she is no longer completely alone. Lucy is investigating, Kazim is watching, Yaman is beginning to the doubt, and Doga herself is becoming more careful. Barsa may because she has finally reached that the position she wanted, but that the ground under her is becoming less stable every day. One wrong move could expose everything. One moment of the uncontrolling jealousy could destroy human trust. One piece of the evidence could prove Doga was the right, and one dangerous incident could force Yaman to stop hiding from what his heart has already chosen. This is why I believe that this section of the story is the heading toward a moment where love, jealousy, fear, and the trust are collide at the same time. Doga may enter that the coming event believing she has lost Yaman. She may have believed them understanding that the real story between them has only begun. Yaman may enter believing he can choose his line. Simpler part, he may love understanding that their feeling will not obey that these confessions he made for these consequence for responsibility. Barsa may enter believing she finally has the Yaman. She may have understanding that the holding something close physically is unless when their heart is moving somewhere else, and the farm has become that the places where every carefully hidden trust eventually come into the open. This is why that the next operation is the law of the nature could be one of the most important turning points for the Doga and the Yaman. This relationship does not need a sudden confession to the chain. It only needs when the moment in which both finally stop playing to the themselves, the moment appear closer them even. The honeymoon crisis will make think about whether different peoples can build a future. Versa jealousy will force them to confront how many they much affect each other. The investigation will make Yama reconsider whether he judged Doga unfairly. The new danger with the remind about that they cannot be taken for the granted, at that the quiet moment between this is even will show that beneath every argument something generously has been showing. Dog and the Yama may still fight, he may still understood each other. They might still work away even they should away, but after everything that is happens, walking away emotionally is becoming impossible. This is the real protection for his day of the law of the nature, not an easy victory, not an intimate relationship. Not the sudden disappearance of every rival and every problem in sales. This part may give us the beginning of the emotional honesty. Dog accepting that the love does not make her weak. Yaman accepting that the forgiveness does not erase that the past but can create a future. But surfacing that the trust that love cannot be protected through the fear. Lucy understanding that the predictor is the daughter something mean allowing her to make her one emotional choices at the farm become that the places where the listen finally collide. The unexpected development promised Doga between and the Yaman may therefore be much more important than a simple romantic scene. It could be the event that the chain house see each other permanently. Once that they happen, the old relationship between them cannot return. Doga will now Yaman feeling and deeper than he admit. Yaman will now Doga is no longer that the person he once believed she was. Barsa will now that the greatest threat to her relationship is not Doga action but the Yaman's one heart, and the viewer will now that the real battle is no longer about who reaches Yaman first. It is about Yaman's will finally have the courage to choosing that the person he cannot stop loving. The decisions may still be delayed by the dangers and the mysteries, but every new event is pushes him closer to it, and when it the final life versa action may determine with her that they create trust, a new beginning or trust that they form into the center of an even greater disastrous love. The nature now reaches a point where the biggest question is no longer with her Doga has the feeling for the Yaman. The questions has already been answered by everything has experienced. The more important questions is what Doga will do now when she believes Yaman has the choosing versa. The last episode story led the Doga at once one of the most painful emotional moment of her jealousy. She had finally understood that the jealousy, anger, curiosity, and the contact attention toward Yaman were all connected to the love. Just when she was ready to accept this trust, he says Yaman close to the Versa and understand the scene has he proved that she has waiting too long. At the same time, Doga has not forgotten that the cold room incident or her belief that someone deliberately places her life is the danger. Lucy has quietly taken her the suspicion. Jealousy enough to have Kazim investigate Versa, while that the new official information now places Versa in crazy dangerous behavior beside that the arrival of the honeymoon guest Naz and the Octet as an expected development between Doga and the Yaman. The next stage could therefore begins with the Doga changing her behavior completely until now she has been chastened by the emotion by fighting against them. When she is jealousy, she becomes curious. When she is hurt, she becomes sharp. When she is frightened, she becomes stubborn. This time, however, I believe she may try something difficult. They may decide that she will not allow Yaman to see how badly this situation has affected her. Instead of questioning him constantly, she could become calm. Instead of finding reason to stay near him, she may begin finding reason to leave. Instead of trying to understand his relationship with the Versa, she may tell concern that he is no longer her concern. This would immediately disturb Yaman because he has become used to the Doga challenging him. Her the silence affected him more strongly. Another argument even showed at first Yaman may even believing that the new dictions is good. He has spent a long time telling himself that the Doga creates confession in his life. When she steps away, he may think everything will finally become easier. He can focus on the farm versus his responsibility and the future without being pulling into another emotional fight by pieces by last only at a short time. Yaman will begin to destroy, discover that the Doga presence has become part of his normal life. He noticed when he's missing from the breakfast. He noticed when she asks someone else for the help instead of asking him. He noticed when she laughed with other people but becomes serious what he is approaching. Not of these things are dramatic by themselves. Yet together they make him realize how much attention he has always giving her without understanding why. This can create a completely different form of the jealousy. Earlier, Doga was often that the first disturbed by another woman becoming close to the Yaman. Now Yaman could become that the person watches Doga from a distance. He may see her working with a girl, discussing business with someone, or just simply enjoyable herself without him. He may have the right to complain because he is one connected to the Versa. He will make his jealousy harder to impress. He may become impatient for the reason he cannot explain. Small thing can irritate him. If the Doga asks another man for the assistance, Yaman might suddenly appear and says that it can be handled that the problem. If Doga lived at the farm for a meeting, he may want to know where she is going even though he should not ask. His emotion could begin exposing our trust is the world. And still refusing to admit. Barsa will notice his because Yaman does. Her the greatest weakness is that she is watching Yaman to carefully. Every change in his expression matter to her because she does not truly feel secure in his love. She may have the answer she wanted for him, but she understands that the Doga still has the powerful effect on him. The main Doga does not even need to actively complete her the simple decision to step back may have some or the frightened and someone believe they have won but still feel afraid of the losing. It usually means that now the history is not complete. Barsa will realize that the keeping Yaman close is required more than receiving affection from him. She needs him to stop caring about the Doga, and this is something she cannot command. The arrival of the Naz and the Octave could make that this fair much stronger. This is honeymoon guests are important not only because their stay affect Lucy business futures, but because their relationship can living that example placed directly in front of Doga and the Yaman. The official story said that the couple come from completely difficult world and that their romantic holiday quietly turned at a major crisis. It also said that the experience for Doga and the Yaman to think about love and the difference. That tells that the Nas and the Octave are not random visitors. They are the likely being character to mean that the characters examine themselves without openly talking about their one's relationship. I believe Nas could arrive in a very clear picture of what her honeymoon should like. Even if she expects romance, comfort, attention, beautiful photograph, carefully planned meals, and the contest excitement. Octave may have a completely difficult understanding. He may prefer a natural experience and believe the farm itself is the nerve. When begun has the disagreement over small detail could quietly become an argument about deeper expectation. Nas may feel that the Octave does not understand her. Octave may feel that the nothing he does is the ever enough. This full stop is the trap in the middle because keeping that the couple happy is important for the Lucy argument. Doga will probably take that the problem personally. He has the work hard to the modernize part of the farm business and the seed the honeymoon guest and the proof that her idea can be succeed. If Nas become unhappy, Doga could become determined to create that the perfect romantic experience. She may organize a meal at the special setting near that the activities around that the property and a peaceful moment with the plants. They understand that the decoration cannot repair a relationship when two the people are the angry about something deeper. The difference approaching to solve Nas and the Octave crisis will then reflect their one personality. Doga want to the act, Yaman want to the understand. Neither approaches is the completely wrong, which means they will eventually need each other. This creates that the perfect reason for Doga and the Yaman to the spend time together even though Doga is trying to avoid him. Lucy create affect him. Lucy may affect for the honeymoons to the face so personal problems has to be placed aside. Doga may have forced to the plan with the Yaman. At first their cooperation should be uncomfortable. Doga become extremely professional, discussing only when need to be done. Yaman trying to behave that the same way, yet he can feel that this something has disappeared between them. Their old argument was frustrating, but they also warm. Now Doga politely close colder than the anger. Yaman may deliberately try to provoke that the old Doga. He could challenge her the plan questions one of her choices or suggested that she is making a simple problem to the complicated. Normally Doga will immediately defend herself. This time she may simply accept that the customs and the continue working. This time she may simply accept that the Christian the response will surprise Yaman. He wanted a reaction because a reaction will prove that their vulcanization still exists in Seal's Doga, show him that he is capable of the withdrawing emotionally. Yaman may suddenly realize that the losing someone does not always happen through a dramatic goodbye. Something happens quietly when the small distance at the time. This may become that the becoming of his real emotional awakening. Yaman has spent much of this stop reacting to the Doga insists of understanding what she means to him. He becomes angry when she takes risks. He becomes protective when she is in danger. He becomes disturbed when other men are closing to her. He watches her even when he tells himself he does not care. Yet this history is the painful. He has been able to explain this his feeling has irritation, responsibility, or the unfinished anger. Doga withdrawal remove this is excuse. If he still think about her when she is not challenging it, when that the feeling cannot be explained by the conflict alone. Nas and the Octave problem may become more serious as the day continue. Perhaps one of them reveal that the marriage happened too quickly. Maybe their family pressure them to create an expensive wedding when they never has enough time to discuss. When married that the eventually means the honeymoon has become that the first moment when they are truly alone with each other and they will discover that the love does not automatically answer practical questions about the money, family, work, freedom and the future plan. Doga could understand Na's frustration because she also comes from a world where expectations can be high. She knows what it means to grow up surrounded to comfort and to assume certain things will always be available. Yaman will understand Octave better if the Octave feels judged. because he cannot provide that the kind of the life Nas expected. The division could eventually create another argument between Doga and the Yaman, but unlike their older argument, the one carries self-awareness. This is not only discussing the honeymoon couple swim something inside, but understand they are talking about themselves. Doga knew Takens begins wondering with her. She has fully changing enough to fit into Yaman world. She has given it comfort because and they try to prove that she can live at the work the farm, but a dating relationship is different. From our temporary challenge, loving Yaman will mean accepting that their difference will not disappear. Yes, after one emotional confession, they may disagree about money, family, lifestyle, ambition, and the responsibility for the heirs. The important question is whether this difference can be respected. Yaman may feel that the opposite questions. He often excusing that the Doga background, making her unable to understand his world. But perhaps that the belief has become another world. Doga has the oldie showing that he is willing to learn work, made mistake and the try again. If Yaman continues judging her only through where she comes first, and he is doing similar to the what he can act it. When others judge him, this situation should be uncomfortable. It may force him to ask whether he is protected himself from Doga or the punishing her for herself to the past. These situations will not and the octave could eventually force Doga and the Yaman to the work together on something symbolic. Maybe that the planned honeymoon evening is the drained by the weather, technical future, or another unexpected problem. Doga carefully prepared arrangement collapse at the possible time. She may think everyone eat the lost Yaman. Insight of the crystallize her help create a simple alternative. The uses that the farm naturally offer rather than the trying to build perfection. The new plan become warmer and the more generous than the original one. This will teach Doga has a lesson without making her look foolish. Her ideas are the vulnerable, but she cannot control every detail of the life. Yaman simply choice is the vulnerable too, but without Doga creatively, there may never has been an attempt to repair that the honeymoon at all. The success come from combining about style. The guests benefit from the exact thing Doga and the Yamans refusing to recognize in their one relationship. Their difference can create balance instead of the destruction. While this is happening, Versa may contain reminder that the couple and the watch every interaction. She sees Doga and the Yaman communicated almost without needed explanation. One they stand a task and the other understand needed explanations. They may agree, benefit, they immediately return to the working together. The natural connection can hurt versa more than a romantic gesture. Romance can be creative for the moment. Compatibility in ordinary life is harder to the fake. Barsa's growing fear may cause her to make a mistake. Until now, she has been some ability to hide her feeling from the other. But jealousy can destroy carefully planning. She may have a crush comment about Doga in front of the someone who was not supposed to hear it. She may react too strongly when the Yaman helps the Doga. She may know a detail about Doga movement that she does not know. Each mistake, small, but the small mistake can become that the becoming of the exploser. Kazim will be watching more closely than the Barsa Lucy asking him to investigate because he does not fully dismiss Doga's suspicion after that the cold room incident. Kazim's role in the next day should be very important because he is not emotionally involved in the love triangle. He can obsess behavior that everyone else interrupts through the jealousy. If Versa following Doga secretly enter an area of the farm or contact something connected to the earlier incident, Kazim may notice. But I do not expect that the investigation to the proof immediately. A better development will be for Kazim to discover something. The create more the questions where Barsa has access to the location she claims she never visited. Spirit her they come as active near that the farm during our time. She sighed. She was something else. Perhaps someone remembers seeing her near that the cold room. None of this is about exactly what they happened, but it they give Lucy a reason to become more the protected. Lucy may begins observing Barsa personally. This creates an interesting emotional problem. Becoming Hinadoga is also jealousy. He must separate his role of father from the evidence in front of the her. If he succeeds simply Because his daughters dislike her. Yamans may reject Dad's association. Lucy therefore need patience. He could even tell Doga very little about Dad's investigation because he does not want her emotional to the interference. Doga may understood her their father's silence. He could think Lucy does not believe her, that the will make her feel more isolated. She is trying to hide her broken from the Yaman's fear from everyone at the farm and the frustration from her the father. The emotional pressure becomes heavier because she has no safe place to release it. Perhaps he may release it that the person who noticed she has enough time experience to recognize when the dog are confident is the covering pain instead of forcing her to the talks. Parents could simply remain close and give her the space. They would allow Doga to face sporting without telling that the script into another long conversation about the romance. Perhaps might also understand that the Lucy is the hiding something. The real emotional closeness could matter. She read his behavior better than other people do. She may realize that she is worried about Doga for the people beyond her broken. Lucy made the entire investigation, but Sas perhaps will immediately understood that the seriousness of the situation. They could treat Lucy and the parents connected because that they now share that responsibility for quieting protected Doga. Their older love story become climbers and the more mature compared with the cases surrounding Doga, Yaman and the Barsa. They have already lived through the pride and the separation. Now they understand that the love mistake cannot be solved by predictive feeling do not exist. Their relationship may suddenly influencing Lucy's decision not to the control Doga heart. He can protect her dad from loving that the wrong person for the getting her. If he is trying, he may repeat old mistake. Therefore, he focus on discovering whether Barsa is the dangerous while allowing Doga and the Yaman to solve the emotional problem themselves. Meanwhile, Murd may become part of the mysterious for the reason nobody expects. Since his reaction at the hospital pushes Barsa into an emotional crisis before her confession to the Yaman, he already has a connection to her current state. He may believe Barsa is not angry about her work situation. If he approaching him study, returning to the hospital or facing her the career, he could notice that she is far more focused on the dog and the Yaman that her one future might is not that the person must character could return trust, which make him useful for the prediction trust. He may use something important and intentionally keep quiet because helping Doga give him no advantage later when the corruption changing he will reveal when she now. The information may not prove that the Barsa guessing that the cold room incident, but it confirmed that his behavior has become unstable. The mysterious should remain uncontained because Barsa is more interesting if that the incident cannot completely immediately separated when she has done formal swarm when she might eat. She may absolutely return Doga and they behave dangerously, yet another character could be the responsible for part of the strange activity around at the farm. The official materials say Doga witnessed something frightened with the alarm, but it does not explain when she does. The create room for the story to mislead about the Doga and the viewer. My prediction is that the Doga could see something move through an area of the farm late at the night because she is already thinking about the Barsa she followed without calling anyone. The person disappeared before Doga can clearly identify them. She then finding something that connected to an earlier problem at the farm but not directly to the Barsa. This is important because it tells her that the dangers may be longer than the jealousy woman. Doga may want to tell Yaman immediately but they stop herself. She remembers he is with the Doga Barsa and does not want every confession between them to become another reason for the Barsa to escape her of the freedom. She decided her is to investigate alone, which is exactly that the wrong choice from a safety point of view. That understanding emotionally, Yaman noticed her the distracted behavior. He asked indirectly what is the wrong if Doga refuses to involve him. The rejection's brother is because he has always been one of the first people she turned to during that the crisis, even when they are fighting. Now she is deliberately keeping him outside. Yaman may tell himself she should respect that the distance, but this the protected insists win. He watches Doga more closely and eventually sees she is looking for the something around the daddy farm. Rather than the comforting her, he follows her the quietly. This creates an excellent reversal. Earlier, Doga followed situation because she wanted to know what Yaman was doing. Now the Yaman follow Doga because she is afraid she will places herself in the danger again. The reason is no jealousy alone. She remember how close she came to the dry in the cold room. Even if he cannot define her relationship, he now he cannot watches her walk into another dangerous situation without done anything. Doga eventually discovered and following her and they become angry. She does not want it is the protection if he is trying to the return Barsa after a while. For the Doga emotional boundaries are the becoming important. She cannot accept it Yaman acting like the person closer to her while also accepting her to respect her the connection with another woman. This may be the first moment become trusted understand that the unfair position he has the creative from his perspective protected Doga feel the nature from her perspective. Every protective act give her the hope that she is trying to destroy. She need him either to come closer neatly or honestly or allow her to move away. Yaman may not be ready to the answer and his ability to answer because an answer by the itself. He is the confusing because her the feeling for Barsa and the Doga are not equal in the way he expected. He may care about the Barsa deeply, but Doga creates a difficult emotional response. The possibility of losing Doga produces fear that he cannot explain through the friendship. The writer could use Nas and the Octet against at this point the honeymoon crisis may reach the stage where Octet says through his behavior that he wanted Nas closes but refuses to change anything that make her the unhappy. Doga may see this and immediately recognize that the unfairness love cannot mean asking and other persons remain too emotionally available while refusing to offer them this security. Yaman may recognize himself in the octave. This will be uncomfortable enough to the changing how it the behave with the Doga. He began giving her the space. But because he understands that the pulling her close without making a decision is the selfish, for the first time Doga get the distance she wanted, surprising it her even more. She expected Yaman to find against her when he respect her the decision she being wondering whether she was wrong about his feeling. This is how about the character can the experience the same entirely from the opposite with repeating that the other jealousy story. The new distance they created, the Morsnas and the Octave situation keep pushes them the together. Problems with these honeymoon dinners require both of them. Missing conversations require both of them, and important because that the guests require both of them. The practical test places them side by side while emotionally they are trying to separate. The tension can remain without any direct love confession. Our clans become important because neither want to. They speak a simply act of helping because important because Doga is not trying to defect on the Yamana moment of the laughter become important because about the forget their pain for a few seconds. Barsa see this is moment and understand that the emotional connection remain alive. Without that, the Doga even throwing that trying to the threaten it, they may be where her fear thrown into the plan. Instead of the directly attacking Doga, Barsame decided to create a reason for Doga to leave that the farm. She now physical dangers attracted Yaman toward Doga. The cold room incident with her Barsa casing it or not, resulting if the Yaman become more the protected, therefore repeating that the same moment will work against her. The goal of smarter strategy is to damage Doga place in the farm community. Barsa could therefore with something negative to the Barsa important agreement because that the honeymoon guests are central to that the deal making Doga another responsible for their distractions will be affected. A booking could be changing, a private request from Nas could be ignored, something important could disappear before that the romantic evening. The evening may make it the like Doga made the mistake. Doga now will be shocked because she check everything carefully. Lucy will not immediately blame her, but that the pressure of the agreement create tension. Yaman could become frustrated because realizing that the situation does not make sense. This is where Doga growth should be shown clearly instead of the becoming defensive and the shouting that something is the trying to destroy her. She calmly began checking what happened. She has done that the association without evidence only make people doubt her. Yaman noticed this the change. He expected that the old dogger to explode under pressure, but she remains focused. His maturity make him question that the appearance evidence. He began helping her investigate, but Sab planned that producing that the exact opposite result she the wanted. Doga and the Yaman spent most time together working differently, quietly to understand what happened. Their all teamwork returned. This is another important theme. Every time to separate them create a problem they solve together. They may discover that the someone information connected to the honeymoon conversation. These access come from inside that they found they allow that the possibility but still cannot immediately expose versa another employee should have used that the same advice or entered at the same area. Doga begins surprising Versa against but refusing to say it without the proof. Yaman may notice that she proof. Yaman is the holding something back. If he asks, she explains only by she has learned not to expose people she is contained. The simple charge could affect Yaman more deeply than a romantic scene. He understands that his earlier doubt her. She is now modifying her the behavior because people does not behave well. He began feeling guilty. The investigation into the business sabotage and the Qasim private investigation into Barsa could slowly move toward each other. Qasim find one the clue. Doga and the Yaman find another. Lucy that the board pieces point in the same direction. Still, Lucy may decide not to confront Barsa because he wants continually allow Barsa to believe she remains safe. At the same time, Naz and the Octave marriage reaches its the lowest point. One of them may decide to leave that the farm early. This threatens Lucy's argument and make everyone panic. Doga believing that the only way to repair that the situation is to help that the couple understand when they are actually finding about instead of the creating another big romantic event. Doga changing her the approaches. She listened, the demonstrated how much she has learned from the Yaman way of handling people. Someone noticed that she is using patience rather than trying to resolve everything through the money or the planning. Someone in the turn may uses one of the idea by bringing us and the octave back together. He arranges something thoughtful and that the one places has to be dismissed as unnecessary. Doga noticed that she has always changing because of her. Neither say anything about it, but the about understand they have the influences one another more deeply threatened than the other releases. This is where their difference began looking like less obstacle and more evidence or the compatibility. Doga has learned simplicity from the Yaman. Yaman has learned openness and the flexibility from the Doga. They do not becoming that the same person. They are the becoming broader version of themselves. Naz and the Octave may eventually recognize that their marriage does not require one the person to abandon that their world to the other. They need to the word a third word together. The idea can become that the hidden answer to the Doga and the Yaman problem has the world. Doga does not need to become exactly like Yaman to love him. Yaman does not need to the enter Doga lifestyle completely. They need to create something shared. The farm itself may already be becoming that the shared places is contained Yaman wrote that also Doga new idea. Every change that has made the crisis of the pieces of the board character. The relationship has quietly been building a common world because ether admit has be happened. Bursa recognized it this too, and this is why she is afraid she can asking to chasing her, but she cannot trace that the life he has already begun building around Doga presence. His fear could lead be the important drag confrontation with the Doga and sees of a loud public fight. I expect something quieter and more uncomfortable. Barsa filed Doga alone and make it declare through her the waiver that she sees Doga has the three Doga may and refuses to become frontrunners in front of her. She understands now that this is showing fear gave Barsa power. She will stay calm and make it clear that she is not trying to distill anyone. Yaman choosing belong to the Yaman. Their response could make Versa more unstable because she cannot fight any emotions but refuses to play that the same game. If Doga has the opiniosity that she would win Yaman. Barsa could justify everything as a romantic competition, but if the Doga step away and Yaman will move toward her, through the Barsa may face it that the trust the Doga is not creating that the problem. Yaman's one heart is creating it. This situation may be when toward pushes closer to a serious mistake. Perhaps she decided that the Doga needed to be fitter enough to live at the farm voluntarily. She created a situation meant only to scare her, but the plan involving her can quietly become the danger. Something is wrong and Doga is placed in the real danger. For example, Doga might be directed toward an isolated location through a false marriage. Connected to the honeymoon's business, she believes Nas need help or then that the important delivery has arrived. When she reaches that the area she reaches leaves no one is there. This something happened that make her understand she has been deliberately brought away from everyone else. The Frightened star mentioned in the official preview should fade into the development like this. Perhaps Doga see evidence of the watching her. Perhaps she noticed an important connected to the cold room incidents. Perhaps she see a person disappearing between that the tree. Her first reaction is the fear, but her the second is the anger. Doga is the trying to be frightened. Instead of the looking evidence, so look for the evidence. This decision is the risky but important for her the character. She wanted proof so nobody can dismiss her the again. She finds something small, a drop them, a footprint, a pieces or the fabric, a phone or another clue. Before she can express it properly, she fears someone approaching. Doga finally understands that the collecting evidence is not one risking her the life. She moves away back that the part back is the difficult. Meanwhile, Yaman is looking for her because an important honeymoon task cannot continue with her. At first, he is annoying. Then he noticed that nobody has seen for a long time. His irritation became concern. Something said Doga received a message and the left. Yaman checked that the information and realized that the marriage make no so once. As the moment his concern turned into the fear, he immediately began searching. Barsa sees his reactions and understands that the Yaman panic for the Doga cannot be hidden. He does not carefully think about whether helping her will upset Barsa. He simply moves. This is the reaction he will emotionally trust more clearly than any confession. Yaman eventually finds Doga. She may not be seriously injured, but she is the shaken. He wanted to know what happened, while Doga is more interested in the protected the clue she finds. The situation can create an intense moment because Yaman realized Doga was again in the danger while he was trying to confess himself that the staying away from her was the responsible choices. She cannot choices predicted as the safety is the something else problem. Doga, however, does not want this issue to return them to the old confessing partner. She accepts this help and remains emotionally guarded. The hurt Yaman, he finally understands that his being needed physically is not that the same has been trusted emotionally. After returning to the farm, Lucy becomes frustrated when she learns what happened. His private investigation suddenly feels too slow. He wants answer. Kazim answered that the questions information he has collected so far, the clue Doga found may connect with one part of this investigation. For the first time, this is enough reason for the simpler meaning to the recognition Barsa suddenly, but that the story could not resolve that the mysterious too easily. Barsa may have to the believable explanation for the clues. Perhaps she was never near that the location where Doga was written. Someone can confirm her the presence everywhere. Now everyone become confused again. Doga began wondering whether she has focused so strongly so the Barsa that she failed to see another enemy. The possibility create a much larger future storyline. Something may be using Versa obsessed jealousy has the perfect covers before using someone expecting Versa to the threatened Doga. Another person can be against that the family while remain at on the love triangle. The real motive could be connected to the farm. Lucy business interests or an old enemy ownership or another secret should not yet explored. If so, Barsa remain dangerous emotionally but not be responsible for every physical threat. This would be stronger story because it predicted the character from becoming that simply will not responsible for anything. Doga could even become that the person who recognized his default. She disliked Versa and now that the woman treated her, but some details do not match. Yaman may intentionally think Doga should be happy that the suspicion is moving away from the Versa inside. Doga insists on following that the evidence rather than when she wants to the belief. The impressive Yaman, he says she is rejoicing trust over jealousy. Barsa made defense separating main definitive. She couldn't trap Doga. Fairness has another performance designed to the make Yaman admit her security has become so strong that the kindness look threatened. This is the tragedy of the Barca positions when the fear control that the way something see that the world. Every action confirm that the fear if Doga is the angry Barca see and the enemy if Doga is the kind Barca see manipulation if Doga see away from the Yamans. Barca what is fear is Yaman will cases if Doga stay near Yaman. Barsa thinks she is trying to steal it. This is no action Doga can take that they give Barsa real security because that the insecurity is inside Barsa herself. Yaman will slowly begin understanding this. At first he may trying to the pressure Barsa and now she has the suffer professionality and the emotionally. And he does not want to the hurt her, but repeating resistance may stop working. Versa being needed more the proof. She wanted Yaman to spend less time with the Doga. She wanted him to question Doga notice. She want him to kiss his side on the every agreement. Yaman may intentionally make every compromise because he thinks this is what a relationship requires. Soon he releases each compromise creates another damage. The turning point could be when the person asking him to ignore during a serious problem. Yaman cannot do it. This does not necessarily mean he chooses Doga romantically at the moment. It means he has a moral boundary. Whenever confession is between them, he will not abandon someone in the danger simply to prove loyalty to the Barsa. Barsa see that the boundary has the betrayal. Yaman sees the rejection as someone he can no longer ignore. The first serious crack in the relationship begins. Doga may know nothing about that the argument that make that the development stronger because she is actively casing it. Yaman still pulling away from the Barsa because of the Barsa one behavior, not because Doga is asking him to leave. This is important for the love story. If Yaman simply joining woman after Doga confession, it will make his feeling look shallow. But if their relationship with the Barsa break because he continually that it is unhealthy. Then is the eventually movement toward Doga without a separation decision. At the same time, Doga could not immediately wait for him. She may believe that even if Yaman becomes single, they become has resolved problem. Her own mistake against him still matter. His lack of the trust in her still matter. The difference still matter. Marriage is not the only thing keeping them apart. The understanding allowed that the story to the growth beyond our triangle. Doga could happen forcing more strongly on the farm future. The honeymoon succeeds may appear a new business idea. He may elicit that the farm could attack looking for a quiet experience away from the city instead of rushing into another project without understanding that the consequence. She consulted everyone first. This shows another form of the growth. Yaman may be surprising even when asked his opinions before making decisions. Earlier he might have the complaint that she never listens. Now she is listens without being focused. He is being seen at a real partnership with her might look like Doga asking what other when they need. She releases another successful change required that the people who live and they work there be part of the process. Lucy watches their daughter and they becoming proud. He may have originally seen that the farm has another places where Doga will quickly become the broad. Now she is becoming connected to it for the reason beyond the Yaman. Her business growth can give her dad the independence. Yaman may find himself admitting her not only because she loves her, but she cannot be capable of the partner. This is different kind of the attraction from the earlier tension between them. It is based on the respect. Respect may be the seeming bridge between their past and their future. Doga once hurt Yaman pride. Yaman has the often underestimated Doga ability to the changing, but need to the repair that the respect between them before love can become stable. The animal project may provide that the opportunity. When Nas and the Octave finally solve their crisis, they should thank both Doga and the Yaman for helping them. Doga immediately gives Yaman credit for the part he handled. Yaman does the same for her. Neither tried to take that the victory alone. Lucy noticed, Barsa noticed. Everyone see when Doga and the Yaman think are they still trying not to the admit. They functions like the partners. Later, when the celebration began, the atmosphere became lighter. The official material indicate happy movement between Doga and the Yaman as well as the romantic time by the sea entered the sea. The lighter part of the story may arrive only after that the stressful honeymoon crisis. For a while, Doga allowed herself to enjoy the celebration. She laughed with everyone and trying to not think about the Basal. Yaman watches her. He remembered how become she looked when she came first to the back at. Then she allowed himself completely outside the world. Now she's a part of it. These realizations may hit him unexpected forces. Doga did not simply enter easy life. She has changed the shape of it. She the same is the true in the opposite. Interaction. Yaman has the trained dog understanding of the success, care, responsibility, and the love. They may move into the seaside scene without planning it. Perhaps Doga lived at the celebration because she needed quiet. Yaman follow later, not because he want to comfort her, but because he also need distance from the noise. They find themselves together under the nose. Unlike earlier scene, there is no business problem to the hide behind. No guests need help. No one in an immediately danger. No argument required. And the answer this gives silent difficult. Doga may be trying to first the leave because she now being alone with the Yaman is emotional dangerous. Yaman stopped her, not physically in a dramatic way, but by the physical, making it clear that he does not want every moment because them to end with the someone walking away. Doga does not confess, Yaman does not confess. Yaman yet they believe her because more the honest. Doga hurt is visible. Yaman confession is visible for the first time. Neither had completely behind anger. This is become that the unexpected development mentioned in the official samples without requiring an immediately kiss. Perhaps Yaman admit through this action that the same Doga distance herself has affected him. Perhaps Doga finally understands that this the relationship with Barsa is not an emotional simply as it is looked. This relation changed at the balance before this moment. Doga believes she has lost after this understand that it was never competition to bring with. Yaman himself does not know what he is doing. The knowledge does not make Doga happy. In fact, it makes her the stronger. She may tell herself that she will not remain trapped inside Yaman confession. If he wants her in his life, he will eventually make a clear. Until that, he will protect his one heart. Yaman may respect him more than he expected. Lizzie Doga is not asking him to betray Barsa. She is asking him not to the treat as an emotional second choice. The place responsibility exactly what it belongs with him. At this inside seat, Yaman could bring her more the distance from both women for the short period. He think to the things, but simultaneously feel that the challenge ends and they become threatened. Doga accepted that the distance because she understands it. This contract tell Yama something important. Doga is capable of following her freedom even when she wants a difficult result, but increasing see freedom has the danger. Yaman being recognized that the difference between love and the possession. This does not mean Barsa falling false. She may truly love him, but love cannot become dependent when the fear removes another person's right to the choices. Yaman could solely understand that the remaining with the Barsa only because he feared hurting her may exactly be crueler than ending that relationship honestly. The longer he stays without completely commitment, the stronger his expectation become. He cannot protect her from break heart while living a lie. Before he makes a final decision, another discovery may interrupt anything. Kazi could find evidence proving Versa lied about one important detail sounded Doga earlier dangerous again that the evidence does not need to show that she directly caused that the cold room incident if only need to prove when she was not truthful. Yaman Trust received another blow. Lucy may ask him to stay calm when they continue investigating. Yaman may now tell the separate reason to question his relationship, emotional incapability, and the dishonesty. The began remembering moment his previous ignored Barsa warning toward Doga his extreme reaction whenever Doga is near him. Her changing explanation, her growing need to control that the situation, the picture become harder to the dismay. Doga may have been able to. The Yaman has learned his the information. He continued behaving normally. This gives Yaman a changing to the observe her without a usable emotional conflict. He see her the helping nurse, he see her the discussing business with the Lucy, he see her the laughing with the worker, he see her the tried at the end of the day but continue to solve problem. He is recognized that the nature of the Doga has been outdated for a long time. He was still fighting with the person who hurt him in the past while living beside a woman who had different beside different. It does not erase what happened, but it is changing when the future might be. Forgiveness does not mean saying that the past was acceptable. It means deciding with her that the past should control every future choices. Doga has but one decision to the make. She may decide with her she can accept Yaman's slow emotional process. Loving someone does not require waiting forever. She may be imagining a life where Yaman is not at the center of every thought. She investigate more energy into her work. This creates an interesting possibility. Just as the Yaman become ready to the move closer, Doga become less willing to the where the timing can keep that the romantic tension low without repeating that the same misunderstanding. Yaman starts showing clear interest. Doga become more the carefully. He asks her to the spend time together. He think keep that the interaction connected to the work he bring to break back their old teasing. She smiles but does not allow herself to become emotionally cared out for the first time. Yaman understands what the dog experienced when she wants him and does not want because he will respond. The emotional soul resolve. The reversal can create new scenes instead of repeating earlier jealousy. Yaman now have to the proof consecutively. Her choices will not be enough. One romantic moonlight moment will not be enough. Doga need to see that the choosing her one life is ordinary too. This could become that the foundation of the next several part of the story, but survival may not give it enough time to reach that the point peacefully. If she sends Yamar moving away, her the action should become more disappear. She may decide to expose a secret about Doga. Perhaps she learns something connected to the Doga earlier life as a business mistake or another incident that could damage Yaman trust. She believes leaving it will remind Yaman while he should stay away from the Doga, but Doga may surprising everyone by admitting that the trust before Barsa can use it against her. This will destroy Barsa leverage. Yaman said that the Doga no longer run from her mistakes. She thinks responsibility. The more Barsa trying to prove Doga is untrustworthy. The more Doga demonstrated honesty, this contract because impossible for Yaman to ignore. Barsa could then become isolated. Even people who weren't affected has the first noticing her the behavior desolated make her the one more dangerous. But it may also create space to understand why he become his these ways. Perhaps she feel that the Yaman is the only stable part of her life. Her professional life has been damaged. Her sense of belonging is the weak. She believes losing him means losing everything. This does not exclude threaten Doga, but it gives that the character emotional depth. Something like the Parisans might eventually see this and understand that the Barsa need help rather than the another romantic victory versus receiving only anger. She become more the disappear. If someone created contact or depression but declare boundaries, they may still be a backfall. The series could therefore avoid turning her story into a simple punishment. She may eventually have to face this where failure has turned into her. For now, however, that the tension should continue grow. The mysterious surrounding Doga Frighten experience, the investigation and the Barsa jealousy will the likely collide. One night, Kazi may follow Barsa, Doga may evidently follow a clue. Yaman may receive what are the missing. The separatist storyline move toward at the same location. This that the trust about at least one suspicion insists and began to the emerge. Meanwhile, Barsa is the seen comforting another person. Maybe she is the being blackmailed. Maybe someone else now about her feeling for Yaman and is using them. This will create a powerful twist. Barsa has done questionable things. She is someone more complicated, calculated, is the taking advantage of her emotional weakness. Doga could discover this and face a moral decision. She can allow Barsa to be blamed for another or evil that another person is involved. I believe she will closing that the trust Yaman see her the protect Barsa from an isolation that this is not fully trusted. The actions could finally destroy his relieving behavior. That the Doga's suspicion was not jealousy. A jealousy will benefit from the Barsa failed. Doga insists of familiars. Yaman respect deep open. Barsa feels confessed because she does not know how to respond to someone she hated helping her for a short period. The triangle chases completely. Doga and the Barsa are not friends, but Doga refuses to let Hetty decide what is the truth. This could begin Barsa eventually challenges, although it will not happen immediately. The real enemy behind some of one the dangers behind might then become that the focus on the file. Losing important agreement may be connected somehow. Someone will want the farm business go to the failed Doga new project make her the target because she is the frightened the property. What happened to be a romantic could be partly by economic stability. This gives that the story room to the exposed Yaman become even more the protected because that the threat is now larger than the Barsa. Doga refuses to step away because everyone want to the frighten her. The different reactions create another disagreement. Yaman wants safety, Doga wants the freedom. This is the ultimate conflict for their jealousy. That the jealousy about the positions makes sense. Yaman fear comes from almost losing her. Doga refusal comes from not wanting fear to comfort her life. They must learn to the compromise. Durga does not agree to investigate alone. Yaman agrees not to threaten her like instead someone capable of making decisions. The small disagreement become one of the small mistakes, one of them behaving like real partner. For the first time, Lucy may privately accepted that the Yaman could be good for his the daughter. This would be a major shift. Our first approval cannot decide that the relationship, but it can remove one. The future of styles. Parents cannot hear Lucy changing and be excusing because he wants to stick that the idea. Against their mature relationship provide a quiet mirror for the younger couples. Naz and the Octave eventually have to the farm in a better place than when they arrived. Their honeymoon was nearly destroyed because they believe being difficult meant one of their heart to the win. They have understanding that the marriage require creating shared rules. Doga watches them go and they think about the Yamans. Yaman watches let go and they think about the Doga. Neither need to say the purpose of the gas has been complicated. The arrival has a business challenge and the leave has an emotional lesson. Now that the main character must decide with her, they will use it as the lessons. As Yaman may finally approaching Versa with the intention of the becoming honest. He understands he cannot